We're back with a short video where we're going to show you a bunch of cool tech products we found. I know that for some of you this kind of video isn't really your thing, but others of you really like it. For us, it lets us test out small products or big products, but without making less interesting videos. Just to be transparent, some of these products are indeed sponsored, but they're still products we've chosen ourselves. We wouldn't show you just anything. One last thing before we start. The prices we mentioned for the products in this video are before any discounts, and right now it's flash days on Amazon. So by clicking on the links, check for yourself. You should get better prices than the ones we're giving you. With all that said, let's go. So I know I talk about them in almost every roundup video, but I really like AirTags. I have them everywhere. I have them on my keys. I have them on my suitcases. I'll talk to you a bit later in the video about a solution for your passport. Anyway, when you're someone who's not very organized, and that's my case, the AirTag is a lifesaver. And this year there's a new AirTag, the AirTag 2. Well, new is a bit of a stretch. There are still some things that have changed compared to the AirTag 1. But above all, don't throw away your AirTag 1, they're still very useful. Here we have a new U2 chip that will give us more accurate and efficient precise location tracking. The range of this precise location tracking will increase by about 50%. You know, that's when the arrow appears. But be careful, it still depends. If your iPhone is also equipped with a U2 chip, Bluetooth has been slightly improved, so we have better range and a more robust connection. The speakers are more powerful, and we've seen that on competitors. Well, it's still convenient to have a louder sound when you're looking for something you've lost. Here, the sound is about 50% louder. A typical use case that's extremely useful for me is when my AirTag is in my suitcase to make sure the suitcase is in the hold. It's true that with the AirTag 1 it doesn't always work. I didn't get the chance to fly before making this video, but I'll probably keep you updated. I'm going to put this AirTag 2 in my suitcase. You can find it for 35 euros. 119 euros for the pack of 4. If you're missing some AirTags and you already have AirTag 1s, this could be a good purchase. But again, the AirTag 1 still works very well. Don't replace them. I still have 2 regrets with this AirTag 2. Apple didn't take the opportunity to add a hole, which would have allowed us to attach it more easily. We're forced to buy accessories. And of course, I would have liked a flat version that you could put in your wallet. Fortunately, you can find that with the competition. Personally, I use the new grid version in my card holder, and I'm very happy with it. I'll give you the reference. A lot of you are currently looking for a robot vacuum, and that's understandable because a robot vacuum really changes your life, and the people whose lives it changes the most are those who have pets. We know that a robot vacuum doesn't clean the house for you, but it keeps things tidy throughout the week, and when you have pets, that's even more important. And that's why today, I'm going to talk to you about the brand Mova and its robot, the Mova V50 Ultra Complete. It's truly the ultimate robot for homes with pets. And it doesn't just tackle cleanliness, but also odors. It's already very comprehensive when it comes to navigation. You have an AI smart ring system to avoid obstacles. The Flexi Rise for tricky areas. A side brush so it doesn't miss the baseboards. A step master that allows it to climb small steps up to 6 centimeters. In short, all of that. It's important because the more options your robot has like this, the less likely it is to get stuck. Power is also something very important. Here, we're talking about 24,000 pascals. So debris, heavy hair, and all that gets picked up. A problem we often encounter when we have pets or long hair is tangling in the brushes. Here, you won't have that problem with the TurboWave Duo Brush system. For washing floors with water, it has very good pressure. It will press down on the mop with up to 8 newtons, and these are rotating mops. 260 rotations per minute. The mop is super important because we have stains that can be tough, like animal paw prints or coffee on the floor. And here it doesn't just dampen your floor, it really cleans. Karina doesn't know how to drink her coffee. She spilled it all over the floor, and the robot cleaned it up for her. On top of that, we have a double tank for the cleaning solution and for an odor-fighting product, so it goes much further than just cleaning. Here, we're really talking about hygiene. We have a complete station that will take care of recharging and emptying the vacuum. It manages the water and maintains the mops, drying them. And here, we have real performance. The mops are cleaned with water that can reach up to 80 degrees. We have hot air drying at 60 degrees. This allows for omni-dry, drying the mops in 1 hour. And that's important because if you've ever used this type of mop, it can quickly become a breeding ground for mold and odors. Of course, the Mova is a modern robot vacuum. It also knows how to leave its mops in the base when it only needs to vacuum. In short, we have a base that's really fully automated and won't require you to take care of anything at all. What's also very convenient is that it has a small retractable turret system. This allows it to go under certain pieces of furniture. Of course, we have a very comprehensive app for mapping. It has 3D scanners LEDs. In short, it will navigate very well. It's really a very good robot vacuum, especially if you have pets. What we also really liked is that it comes with a lot of accessories and a 3-year warranty, which makes it a durable product. At the time I'm speaking to you, the vacuum is priced at 999 euros. Right now and until March 16th, you can get 250 euros off the Mova V50 Ultra Complete in black or white. The link is in the description of this video. Have you ever lost your passport? Or even worse, right before your trip, you don't know where you put it? Well, that's over because I'm introducing this Satechi passport holder that has a built-in tracker. It's fully compatible with Find My on your iPhone. You can make it ring, you can locate it. What's clever is that despite being thin and usually needing a proprietary connector since it lacks batteries, it has a built-in battery that charges via MagSafe and is key compatible. It's made of vegan leather. I'm not gonna tell you it's super comfortable, but it's fine, it does the job. It comes in 3 colors, it's rigid, it protects your passport well. Inside there are compartments. You can put cards, bills, or your boarding passes in it. Yes, that's still a thing. It provides RFID protection, so it prevents unauthorized reading of certain cards. The battery life on a single charge is said to be 3 to 5 months. I tested it and it holds up. So that's the only drawback. You have to remember to recharge it. In any case, you really need to recharge it before traveling. As you know, I'm a big fan of AirTags and all these trackers. They help me avoid losing things since I'm a bit absent-minded. When I'm abroad, it gives me peace of mind because losing your passport is a real nightmare. Of course, it's a bit bulkier than just carrying the passport alone, and it's relatively expensive. As I'm speaking to you, it's about 65 euros, but it's still cheaper than getting a new passport. We do spend quite a bit of time in video calls these days. And just like you pay at least a little attention to your clothes when you go out to meet people, well, you also pay at least a little attention to image quality for video calls. And sometimes the built-in camera on your computer just isn't the best. That's why today I'm going to tell you about the HubSpot Meet 2. First of all, it's tiny. It's the smallest 4K webcam and you can choose between 3 colors. You'll also have several image quality options depending on the streams you want to generate and send through the video call, from 4K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second. It has a real CMOS sensor that's relatively large for a webcam, with an aperture equivalent to f1.8. This will naturally optically allow it to capture more light. You also have built-in HDR to handle backlighting situations. Situations where the lighting is a bit tricky. The autofocus is precise and fast. It's convenient, especially when you need to show objects. There's a built-in dual omnidirectional microphone with noise reduction and auto gain so your voice can be heard better. Let's test it right now. Here's a sound test from the internal microphone of the HubSpot Meet 2. We've made sure to disable mixing with the computer's audio. So this is the sound you get from the microphone without any filter. And now here's with noise reduction. There are a few small ambient noises in the room. Does it reduce the echo? Does it reduce the ambient noise? We have AI auto framing, so your face is always in the frame. And this works whether you're in portrait or landscape mode. In landscape mode, by the way, you have framing options, either just the face or the upper body. And you even have a group mode that will adapt if someone enters or leaves the frame. You can use a number of gestures to control the webcam remotely. It's plug and play, super easy to install. There's a magnetic mount that makes it really easy to adjust, but it also has a real thread, so you can put it on a tripod. You have a HubSpot Center software that lets you make a lot of fine adjustments, filters, even beauty filters. I don't need them, but maybe you do. And if you're a streamer, it will of course be compatible with a whole bunch of things, including the multicam system or the Stream Deck. You also have a small magnetic privacy cover. You don't always want to be seen, even by accident. Right now you'll find it for 159 euros. Of course, we'll put the link below this video. Thanks to this code, you can take advantage of this promotion. You know how highly we think of the Logitech MX Master Mice. We've had them pretty much since they first came out, and we use them a lot for work. And what I'm showing you today is the latest version, the Logitech MX Master 4. It's an ergonomic wireless mouse, but what's really new about it this year is the haptic feedback. In fact, you'll actually feel the clicks. You'll get confirmation of your actions with the haptic feedback under your thumb. And that's not the only purpose of this surface under your thumb. That's also where you'll activate the action ring. In fact, these will be shortcuts that show up in a customizable ring that's tailored to the software you're currently using. The wheel is still magnetic. It's the max spin. You can either let it spin endlessly or set it to have magnetic notches. This lets you scroll super quickly through pages. Just like previous generations, there's also a wheel on the side so you can scroll horizontally. And you have all the buttons that you can program to really personalize the experience. Just to be clear, you can use it for gaming, but it's not designed as a gaming mouse. It's really a productivity mouse. For strategy games or calmer stuff, it works really well. It has a very precise sensor, 8000 dpi. It works everywhere, even on glass. The connection is extremely stable and twice as fast. As a little bonus, if you're a bit particular, it's especially resistant to stains, especially grease stains. No more having a shiny mouse. We specifically recommend it for video editing because we love it for that. But anything that's intensive office work will really benefit from the productivity of this mouse. And as usual, you can use it on 3 different devices just by pressing here. Another thing I almost forgot to mention is that since the whole thing is haptic, it's very quiet. And the 2 buttons on it, which are still mechanical, are super quiet. Look, let's do a test together. Do you hear anything? So you'll make some friends in the open space. As for the price, right now it's about 130 euros. With promotions, you might get it for less. But a good mouse is priceless. I have a confession to make. I'm not a lotion guy. I don't really like putting lotion on my face. Now, in case you haven't noticed, I have a bit of a tendency to age, so it's not necessarily a bad idea for me to take care of my skin a little. And so I've noticed several times that the big trend is to put LED masks on your face. So I asked around people who know a little about it, and they told me, well, listen, there are actually some serious studies and it seems to work. So I decided to try this one, the Humitech. So what you'll find inside is a serial killer mask. You could say that. So double use, that's already the first advantage. And you'll also get a remote control. So it's a flexible mask, and that's actually pretty nice because it fits the face well. We didn't go for a cheap model, so we could have some comfort options. In particular, you'll be able to work on certain areas of the face and have an automatic timer so you don't have to remember to turn it off. You can change the tips, especially around the eyes, so that it fits your face well. Because the idea is that it should be in good contact with your skin. It's battery powered, and that's really important because you can move around with it. Just be careful not to go out in the street with it. This mask is multicolored because the colors have different effects. We'll mainly talk about the red and blue ones, which are the most well-known. We've done a lot of research on this technology. What we understood is that there are certain measures that are really important because, of course, there are also charlatans who have made masks. Here, we're showing you the recommended measurements for red, for infrared, for blue, and for irradiance. That's something to check, and of course be wary of masks that are really cheap. It's usually low-quality LEDs that don't do anything at all. So, what's the difference, for example, between red light and blue light? Red light is recommended for repair and anti-aging. It's mainly going to target texture and fine lines. It will give your skin a firmer appearance. There have been clinical studies conducted, and they tend to show that it has an effect on wrinkles. Well, I haven't had it for long, so you can't really see the effect on the beginnings of my crow's feet here. But if you subscribe to the channel and follow me over the next few years, we should see whether it works or not. Blue light is more for skin problems, like acne, for example. It targets acne and reduces the bacterial load, so it's useful if you get pimples regularly. But if you have serious acne problems, of course, this absolutely doesn't replace a dermatologist or long-term treatments. We're somewhere between health and wellness. It's not going to replace a healthy lifestyle. It's more of a complementary product, and I personally find it quite pleasant to wear. For it to be effective though, you have to wear it regularly. So maybe I'll give you an update later. Just a reminder, this is not a medical device. If you have skin problems or if you're taking photosensitizing medications, you should see a dermatologist, not use this. If you want more information, we recommend the videos by Syllabus and Mufine, who have gone a bit further in researching the effectiveness of this type of product. The model we chose is actually very practical. As for the price, it's not low end, but it's not top of the line either. At the time I'm speaking to you, it's 230 euros. If it doesn't work, well, you can always keep it for Halloween or to be the king of the dance floor. But what is this strange little object? Are these mini donuts for a little snack? Are these replacement wheels for my toy cars? The older ones know what I'm talking about. Well, no, actually these are adjustable earplugs, and they're not just any earplugs, they're loops. Switch to F1 McLaren edition, so you'll never hear that whining sound in your ears again. Actually, it's really Karina and Yanis who told me a lot about this type of product. They use them at concerts, but also when they need some peace and quiet. Because here, sometimes I make noise, so they put their loops in their ears and they can't hear me anymore. I feel like they're listening to me, but not at all. Karina just goes, So I wanted to try it, and it's true that it's really good. You start using them all the time. It's very difficult. It's different from putting earbuds in to listen to music. It's really about wanting a bit of peace and quiet. The advantage of the Switch model is that you can adjust the levels of calm. You have the Engage mode 20 dB, so that allows you to still be present in conversations in life. You have the Experience mode 23 dB. That's when it starts to get crowded and it becomes a bit unbearable. And you have the Quiet mode 26 dB. That's when you're in your own bubble. Even if Brad Pitt walks by with his Formula One car, I can't hear you, Brad. It's super comfortable. It comes with 4 different types of ear tips that fit your ears. It comes with this little carrying case that also has a little thing so you can attach it. I think this color is really pretty. Be careful, it's a limited edition, but after that you have plenty of other colors. It's definitely highly recommended if you often go to concerts. It's a little bit expensive, but less than losing your hearing and having to wear hearing aids very early in your life. So this model with the 3 notches costs 59 euros. But if you don't need this type of adjustment granularity, you can find them for about 30 euros. And check the prices right now, since there are promotions on Amazon. Maybe you'll get a good deal and your ears will thank you. The next product is a little bit special. Some will love it, others will hate it. But we think it's a very interesting product because it will allow you to give a second or even a third life to a product that you would otherwise leave in the drawer. This is a case for Apple Watch, which will turn your Apple Watch into something else. Actually, you clip your old Apple Watch in there and it becomes a mini iPod. You even find the iPod controls here with the little click wheel. And so it really turns it into a whole new device. Now, you don't have to use it as an iPod. It can be a remote control for your TV. It can control the lighting in your home. There's a Dragon Phony, so you can attach it to your bag. Of course, you lose a whole part of the Apple Watch's functionality. The sensors don't work since you're not wearing it against your skin, but it still tells the time. The complications work. Apple Watch apps can work, but be careful, since it's a rigid system, it's not compatible with all Apple Watches. They have a 44 model, a 45 model. The 44 version is compatible with the Apple Watch Series 4 Series 5 Series 6, SE1, and SE2. The 45mm version is compatible with Series 6, Series 7, Series 8, and Series 9. It doesn't work with the Apple Watch Ultra. It doesn't work with Series 10. It doesn't work with the smaller sizes of Apple Watch. And it doesn't work with Series 3 and below, I think, so it definitely limits the product a little bit. Maybe they'll release versions later for those watches. The brand is MVP. It costs around 60 euros. It might seem expensive, but you do get an aluminum finish. There are articulated parts and the crown is really pleasant to use, so for me it's still a purchase I recommend. If you have an Apple Watch lying around in a drawer, this gives it a new use. We hope you enjoyed this little selection and that it gave you some ideas. Once again, we're not encouraging overconsumption. We're still a take your time channel. Buy what you need, not necessarily what you want. You can also watch our other videos from this playlist. We regularly make these catalog style videos where we showcase products. You can also recommend some to us. The only thing is you shouldn't put the link on YouTube because it doesn't work in the comments. Just give us a description of the product and we'll go check it out. I'll put a link to the playlist of all our catalog videos, and we'll see you again very, very soon in another video.